Before now, really, I think thought it was sort of unthinkable. It was just something that we never contemplated could happen.
More than half a dozen people confirmed dead after a fiery Philadelphia plane crash.
It's just an absolute tragedy for us to be in this situation today of facing this reality.
Why that death toll could go up, and experts say this week's tragedy will be studied for decades.
Well, good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sydney Stallworth. Starting off with national news this morning, investigators continue to search for answers tonight after the horrific air ambulance crash in Philadelphia. 19 people are hurt and 7 are dead, but that number could rise. Here's NBC's Emily Ikeda. Well, we're going to get to that package in just a little bit, but first we want to talk about how this is affecting us locally. Now, between the D.C. tragedy claiming the lives of 67 people and last night's deadly Philadelphia crash that we'll tell you more about later on, aviation experts are calling these some of the most tragic few days that we've seen in the last 15 years. Annie Crawl joins us now live. She spoke with both folks in Philadelphia at the heart-wrenching scene and instructors close to home who tell us, Annie, this week will forever change flight lessons in history, right?
That's right, Sid. Authorities say it was less than a minute after the small jet took off in Philadelphia on its way to Springfield Branson National Airport that it horrifically crashed. Not long after, Shriners Children's learned one of their young patients and her mother were on board, now at the site of the catastrophe in Pennsylvania. I got to speak with one of the International Hospital System's leaders about the wreck. The streets of Philadelphia were on fire around 6 p.m. Friday as a jet rescue air ambulance plummeted from the sky. Shriners Children's Chief Communication and Marketing Officer Mel Bauer says these medical transports are quite common. It should have been routine to take a little girl home after providing what Bauer says was life-saving treatment not available for her in Mexico.
We have a lot of international outreach. We take care of children from over 170 countries. And so frequently that involves a medical transport of some kind. Before now, really, I think thought it was sort of unthinkable. It was just something that we never contemplated could happen. And so it's just an absolute tragedy for us.
Bauer says the little girl, whose name hasn't been released, was a Shriners patient for about 4 months. Due to privacy laws, he can't tell us her age or what she was getting treated for, but emphasized how deeply the halls of Shriners in Philadelphia have been shaken by losing her.
She left an impact not just on her care providers, her doctors and therapists and nurses, but even those that are members of our staff that got to know her in the months that she was here, and her mother are just very deeply affected by such a tragedy.
Trying to also put the Philadelphia pieces together are local aviation experts like flight instructor at SLU's Parks Department of Aviation Science, David Shalinski.
It is a turbine aircraft, so usually you'll have very qualified pilots that will have had a type rating, which is the highest level of FAA certificate that they could have received flying that plane.
Experts say it's too early to know what may have caused the plane to go down en route to Missouri for a fuel stop, but the investigation is underway.
I think it's important to understand that we are going to be studying these accidents for decades.
And as of today, Philadelphia's city managing director said it could take days or longer until there's a final count on the number of people killed or hurt across the massive 4 to 6 block impact area in such a densely populated residential area. Sydney?
All right, thank you so much for that report, Annie. Let's get to NBC's Emily Ikeda with the very latest from Philadelphia.
Tonight, investigators on the ground of a deadly plane crash in northeast Philadelphia that led to this massive fireball and shower of embers.
Oh my God.
You can see the plane plunging straight down before the explosion sent people running.
It sounded like it's getting closer, then it just was like, yeah, then I had to get low a little bit and it hit the street right in front of me.
Andre Gary had been walking in the area and captured the hellscape that ensued shortly after 6 p.m. Friday. Scattered fires burning through homes and cars.
What a terrifying moment.
I thought the world was ending.
Officials say the 6 people on the medical transport plane died, including 2 crew members, 2 medical professionals, and a mother and daughter, all from Mexico. Family confirming Josue Juarez was the co-pilot. 1 person on the ground in a car was also killed, and 19 others injured.
This is not etched in stone. The investigation is ongoing.
The NTSB, who is leading that investigation, calling the crash an accident.
A slight right turn followed by a slight left turn and then a steep descent towards the ground.
Today, a look at the force of the impact and the far-reaching debris field.
I'm thinking first shooting.
A half-mile away, the manager of a diner says this piece of the plane flew through the window, injuring a customer.
How are you feeling in that moment?
Because I'm scared. I don't know what do you want to do. I tried to call the 911 and 911 no answer.
Operated by Jet Rescue Air Ambulance, the plane was set to fly to Missouri and then Mexico, carrying a young patient who was in the U.S. for a life-saving treatment, according to the company. Just after taking off, the pilot of the Learjet 55 responded to air traffic control.
123.8, Mike Tango Sierra, 056 medevac. Thank you, good day.
But then, communications from the crew went quiet.
Medevac Med Service 056, Northeast Tower, you on frequency?
Officials say the plane was only in the air for a minute before it crashed into a busy roadway at rush hour. A multi-agency response swarming the scene.
Thanks to their speedy work last night, they were able to get the fire out, and I believe they were able to save others in the process.